Springer, Cameron Hearn, and Nick Silver. Oh, no.
Lucky.
Uh-oh.
Oh!
Well, he's not lucky now. We were talking about it earlier. Remember on the green flag pit stops? No one made a error. Well, here's one under caution. It's going to be costly. The
sponsor bites back in the wrong way. That's bad luck for the Lucky Duck car. And what an unfortunate break for the 7. Unfortunately, also self-inflicted. But he's going to have some work to do. Finian, if he does not get the yellows that Nate Trado so desperately needs, I think we might have just seen the last James Scioli at the front.
Yeah, no, that's unfortunate. The lucky thing for him, though, is that there are... I guess it is an EOL, so he's going to be behind a bunch of cars regardless. But he is running in 16th place, so could be worse, I guess.
Catch the first yellow, get himself back into a more fight, or a better position to fight from. We might see him back. I still think he needs the help of a couple yellows to make it work. A lot of guys are going to be taking the wave around here.
Oh, really?
By the way, up here at the front. So you see in front of Jake Nichols here, we got Brandon Bowie, Frankie Barroso, Cedric Hunter.
Big risk for a lot of these guys, because if we don't go back, if we don't get another caution, they're going to be caught out a little bit. So I guess they're just kind of like, we might as well get the lap back now. So they're betting on some more cautions come out. And I'm sure definitely, as you mentioned before, not Travis Beckner, James Scully is definitely counting on that.
Yeah, Travis Beckner too. I mean, he got the EOL for the cause of incident, so he's headed to the back as well, as per the area rules. Cause an incident, and it was not a racing incident. Get an EOL for your first offense. Jeremy Miller has worked himself back onto the lead lap in 14th. This is another one of the solid throwbacks, Finian, that incorporate a current sponsor and just make a play on it to definitely fit the theme of the throwback.
Emma Connor Horn, his teammate, running in 6th place. Really solid run for the 42, getting his way up there. Both of those cars have come from the back of the field. Jeremy Miller in 37th, Connor Horn in 30th. So they've worked a long way to get near the front and going to double up, get ready for a restart here. Again, we've been green for nearly 100 laps. So this is going to be interesting to see how this works out. Everyone's going to have fresh tires. They're all going to be up against each other. So this could be either very chaotic or more calm if these guys play nice with each other. But with only 60 laps left on the clock, I don't know. I think it can get a little spicy here. We'll see.
Well, we're going to be too wide in turn 2. I don't like too wide in turn 2 here at Darlington. It has not worked out. Maybe the slower speeds on the restart may help out there, but we'll see what they can do. Won't be surprised to see Michael Curran take second if the tradition of third place getting second on these restarts is the way to go. Green flag back in the air.
Green flag back in the air here at Darlington. A solid start for Jake Nichols in the 73. Brandon 6 racing with Michael Curran off into turn number 1.
Problems
in the background.
Greg Mitchell, no, another Rusty Wallace throwback is going for a ride.
And Jeremy Miller, I think, was involved with that as well. We'll take a quick look at your Simrad market replay to see that, because it looked like that almost would have been a caution. Jeremy Miller
sideways.
And Delonte Ballard hit the 2, and wow, turn right to go left. Save that thing.
Do you want to know who pitched Jeremy Miller sideways?
Who?
A Rusty Wallace throwback. Jonathan Cogswell in the 27.
Oh, hello.
Got to the inside of Jeremy Miller and pitched him sideways.
Hello,
meanwhile,
42 versus 3.
Kyle Larson versus Dale Earnhardt. It's Connor Horn and Ryan Hart's going out of here for third place. This is a spot on the podium. And Ryan Hart's singing the high praises of that yellow. Able to get himself back on equal tires with his competitors up front.
Connor trying to see if he can find a way around the 3 of Ryan Hart's. But Ryan Hart's looking pretty good on the short run. Long term, not so much. A few cars kissing the wall in the background. Cameron Hearn, and I think Nick Silver we saw get into the wall a little bit.
I thought Michael Curran caught it on the exit as well in front of him, but Connor Okresic trying to get after the 24, not able to make it work there. And the Tony Stewart BK throwback. Sunny South, the sponsor on the 14. Another one that adjusted the sponsor logo very nicely for the throwback.
These guys, wow, they're a huge separation.
Whoa! Problems.
Jordan Miller.
6. Or no, yeah, Jordan Martin. Excuse me.
Jordan Martin. I don't know who Jordan Miller is.
We both got it wrong. His car is so close to Brandon 6 in paint. I thought that was the 66, but it was the 11.
I think it was Yoneshiwu. Yeah, he got into Yoneshiwu, got loose. And Cogswell working his way on by.
I see Wallace throwback missed the incident there.
Oh, almost saw Martin get a piece of the wall again. Chris Rabel waiting in the wings and behind. He is... Where is Chris Rabel?
1 lap down and 22nd.
There he is. I missed him.
Second car, 1 lap down. He's chasing that blue and yellow car up ahead of him, Garrett Grant in the 5. Good lucky dog position right now. So Rabel needs to get this pass done it quick. He does. So now he's got to go chase down the 5 to see if they can battle for a potential yellow flag that may come out in the final 55 laps of this race. Cameron Hearn on Connor O'Kresick right here down into turn 3.
Looking to the inside, 4 versus 14, off into turn 3. Michael Curran just ahead of them, kind of holding both drivers up at the moment. And Ricky Springer right in behind these two.
We're going to be 2 wide and 1 and 2. I don't know. I think Connor's giving it. Connor is smart. Gave that one up to Cameron Hearn. Figured not go 2 wide through 1 and 2 and lose more ground to the front. You? I don't know, Finian. We're almost to the final quarter of the race. I don't want to give too much more if I'm one of these drivers out here.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is where you really, as a driver, you got to weigh in the give and weigh in the take, because you're getting to the end of it. Everyone's gonna start getting more aggressive. Everyone's got fresh tires to work with. That being said, we got out of the thick of things. I think with that sort of half spin, separated the field out quite a bit. Odds of a caution have gone down quite a bit. And we still have a lot of racing to go, so you have to weigh in. Do you think a caution's going to come out? Do you want to push, make up some time with these fresh tires, or focus on saving your stuff for the rest of this run? Because this could be the final run to the end.
I don't know. I'd save my stuff. If I'm one of these drivers out here, if I'm Jake Nichols, if I'm James Scioli even, look, I've not... Jake has had better long-run pace throughout the 2 long stints we've had tonight. So if I'm James, I'm trying to hang on to the tires and put pressure on Jake to make him run harder than he wants to. Actually, this is Brandon 6 going after Jake Nichols here. I forgot James Scioli had the penalty, excuse me. If I'm Brandon 6, I put the pressure on as much as I can here, but I also got to make sure I keep my tires underneath me, because I would rather play for a long run and have the ability to handle it.
Also,
especially with a gap over Ryan Hart's.
Also, speaking of Ryan Hart, he's struggling at the moment. Look at his last lap time, 29.532. Brandon 6, 29.2. And you can Jake Nichols also 29.2. So Hart's is struggling. You can see a huge train of cars developing in behind in number 3. And so Connor Horn, I think he's just willing to ride in behind, but at the moment, everyone else, I think, is starting to wonder whether they should start to push and get around number 3, because he's holding him up at the moment.
Nope, the patience is wearing thin. I think Connor's just waiting for the opportunity to finally pull out and make a run. He closed the gap right there through 1 and 2. Got himself even closer to the bumper. If he can get a good run on exit here and then line himself up on 1 and 2, this might actually work out. Let's jump on board with the number 42, see how he can set this pass up on the 3. He's driving right behind him. How does he handle being in the wake? He's going to dip low. We're 1 and 2. Get the run on exit. He's too loose. I think he's sliding a little too much there. Corner exit. He does not have the overspeed on Ryan Hart's that the 42 needs to make the overtake.
Whoa, and speaking of loose in the background, Cameron Hearn getting a little bit loose. Michael Curran as well. So more drivers actually struggling with loose conditions.
And these guys are just egging Connor Horn on. Come on, get Ryan up out of the groove. Get him out of the way. Make him start to think about losing spots. And if he starts, there goes. Here comes Connor Horn. He finally got that run through 1 and 2 this time. Now, if he can keep Ryan Hart's pin to the outside, Michael Curran can fill the gap. Ryan's got to be aware of what's going on around him. He's not going to give it up.
He's not going to give it up. Going to try to fight as much as possible. Going to try to do a little bit of a side draft down the front straightaway. Hart's still trying to defend. Connor Horn trying to do as much as he can to make a way on through, but it's going to be tough coming off turn 2 here. He's going to lose a lot. Has to kind of back out of it.
This doesn't work. And that's going to make him lose time to everybody behind him. Michael Curran thought about it. He's smarter of it. No point in battling the guy who's trying to go after the slow one. Ricky Springer now side by side with Nick Silver in our picture as well. And who is that coming on the bottom side? Is that Beckner? Oh, that's Cogswell going to take advantage of Douglas Newbigging.
Beckner is up to 14th, so I don't think he's too terribly far behind. James Scioli is also in the background. You're going to probably see him come. There he is at the top of the picture coming off of turn 2. There's Travis Beckner just ahead of Bryce Senizak. Who's a lap down? David Weiser is not a lap down, but in 15th.
David Weiser got the lucky dog, the last yellow. So he's actually still fighting back from that. Speaking of lucky dog, you see at the tail end of this line, Chris Rabel got by Garrett Grant for that lucky dog position. That battle's still raging as well.
And Nick Silver clearing Douglas Newbigging up a spot. To look back at Connor Horn trying to chase down the number 3 of Reinhardt's.
And this train, Finian, is 2 seconds now adrift from the lead. Ryan's lap times have gotten a little more in line with the leaders. So
I wonder...
he's driven away from Connor Horn, so yeah.
Maybe he was saving?
I'm going to go with your point. He probably super saved, did Ryan, trying to see what he has for a long run here. I've done this before in practice. I didn't manage to do it in the race. I think it was maybe at Charlotte in race 2 of the truck series where in practice I saved way too much tire, that I had too much left at the end and I'd given up too much time and I couldn't come back with a fresher tire, or better tires on the long run.
Yeah, it's the big thing, is determining that crossover point. When do you finally start pushing? Because there, like you mentioned, there's a point where you can save too much. In the background, James Scully getting past, that is Garrett Grant. He just got by a lap down. So Scully's still in 13, trying to make up for things. There is Jake Nichols with Brandon 6 in pursuit. And Reinhardt's starting to break back towards them. Last time by, take a look at the lap times. Reinhardt's still on pace with the leaders. 29.5 for him. 29.5 for Brandon 6 and James Scioli. Sorry, Jake Nichols. Scioli's still back in 13th. Actually, taking a look at Scioli's pace.
We're so used to him being up here.
I know, yeah, because he's up here for most of the race.
That penalty is off-putting.
Really is off-putting. I'm sure it is to him because he's got a lot of ground to make up and not a whole lot of time. I mean, he's got 60 laps, but to work past all these really solid cars up near the front, it's going to be tough to do.
Bad news for the guys that took the waiver round, at least some. Yeah. Skylar Shackelford was one of those. He had to pit. He's now 2 laps down. Ed Robertson is probably about less than 5 laps away from pitting, and he is 27 seconds behind the lead. He's about to get lapped on pure pace before he even makes his pit stop. Cedric Hunter's the only guy holding out hope, Finian, in 18th. 18 and a half seconds adrift of the lead.
Yeah, all of those drivers are really playing a gamble, hoping that a caution will come out immediately and they can get their gas and tires. Unfortunately, that did not come to fruition, so a lot of them are stuck having to pit. Here comes Michael Curran with a little bit of luck trying to scare Connor Horn. That's definitely not going to work on him.
Keep an eye up ahead. Brandon 6, last lap, 1/10 better than Jake Nichols. He's closing that gap. It's now inside. Oh, problem. Who was that? Ricky Springer had a moment over here in 3 and 4. He's going to lose a spot to his teammate, Connor O'Greza.
You're going to see, take a look at your Simrat market. It's just a classic case of getting loose off of turn 4 because we've seen quite a few incidents like that.
Carried a ton of speed into the middle, Finian.
Oh, yeah.
No. So the wonderful thing about the seams on iRacing is you can get loose crossing them or catching a hold of them. Ricky caught a hold of that bottom seam where the apron meets the racetrack and got real loose, and with hot tires, it's not working out. Jonathan Cogswell is going to go after him in the 27.
Robinson down the lane.
So that's another one of the waiver rounds biting the dust. Cedric Hunter, the last remaining, he's currently 60 laps on his tires. And 20 seconds behind.
Something just happened with Jonathan Cogswell. Slow. He's going to come flying in front of Chris Rabel, and James Scully going to work around this. Take a look and see what happens here.
That's not good for Rabel because that's going to put him in the hands of Garrett Grant for the lucky dog again.
It's off at turn 2. Ooh, made contact with Ricky Springer. Springer hit the wall, and then, not sure that was on purpose or Springer trying to save the car.
I'm going to refrain from judging on this one.
Bit of a conflict of interest there, right?
As I say, mostly because I am pseudo teammates with Ricky Springer, although Go Slow is affiliated with Solid Rock Performance. Go Slow being the truck series team I drive for, but and I'm a Rusty fan, so I love the throwback paint scheme that Hogwell has. I'm just gonna refrain from commenting other than
plead the fifth.
Too wide in turn 2 did not work again, Finian. That's all I'm gonna say.
As it hasn't all night long. I shouldn't say that. A lot of these guys in general have been doing a really solid job of keeping it green for most of the night. Again, I guess part of that could be attributed to iRacing refusing to throw cautions for quite a few of some of the incidents. But
yes,
but these guys have done a good job of fighting hard. They've been fighting hard in these battles. They've not been giving up easily. They've been continuing side by side for majority lap and keeping it green.
The Lucky Dog did change hands again. So that moment for Chris Rabel that he got caught up behind those guys, he actually did get past by Garrett Grant. So Garrett Grant back in position if we catch the yellow.
Yeah, issue
is that 34 to go.
Looking a little bit less and less likely. Actually, what is on the hood of that car? Area Racers. Is that an actual photo of the area guys on the hood of that car?
We'll do a little investigative work here and figure out.
I would assume so. It looks like a group photo.
Yes, I believe. Actually, there's a story behind this. I think this photo is from North Wilkesboro.
Ah.
I think because here's another Twitter find for you guys. Go look at North Wilkesboro's Twitter. Go back to Tuesday night when the Cars Tour races were taking place, and you'll see this guy in a nice varsity-style Budweiser jacket standing up in the stands, just absolutely arms in the air, excited. That was our very own Brad Slaughter, the guy who's now on pit road.
Yeah, because he's not.
Shout out to him for he's had big news. First, he made North Wilkesboro's Twitter 2 days before the big event in his life happened. Shout out to him and his now fiance Haley. They got engaged this week, or last week, excuse me. Big life news for Brad Slaughter.
Oh, yeah,
but,
absolutely.
Not big race news.
No.
He's now 3 laps down after another wave around biting the dust, Finian.
I was going to say, it's not been a good race for Brad Slaughter, but good news in real life, so he's got that going for him, and you could argue that's significantly more important. But Jake Nichols...
It's also only his second start in the Area Cup Series this year. He started the 500.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right with that.
He's out here chasing crown jewels. Unfortunately, the crown jewel for the Southern 500 is not going to come his way tonight.
No, not looking like it might come that way. Jake Nichols, though, expanding that lead with Brandon 6, now 5/6 of a second between him. Ryan Hartz, he's not really been closing that much. He's been kind of closing, kind of losing. It's kept equidistant at just over 2 seconds. If anything, I think he's catching up to Brandon 6, but Connor Horn's not been able to catch back up to the 3. Michael Curran, Cameron Hearn all chasing him. Connor Krasick in 7, Nick Silver in 8th, Ricky Springer in 9th, with Cosmin Yonishiwa rounding out your top 10. Douglas Newbegin, James Scully's up to 12th after the restart, and David Weishart is on pit lane.
That one's interesting because he was the lucky dog the last time around. So I'm not sure the decision here because he was good on fuel.
Is that car more damaged than usual? Because it looks more damaged than usual.
It does look more damaged than it should be.
Let's see if
we pick up Frankie Rosso. There's David.
Story. Or it looks less damage here. Was it here?
No. Well, he's on the apron. No, he's got right front damage.
Okay, so maybe turn 2.
I think he
definitely turn
has
2.
He broke a toe link. Is what's gonna happen.
See right here, turn number 2, running up high by the wall. Did he get loose?
He's gonna clobber it right here.
Oh yeah, that's immediate.
That's a broken toe link, and more. So that's required repair, I believe.
Yeah.
It needs to get fixed. I think. It does not look like he has a meatball flag right now, according to iRacing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think David will mind too much because if I'm not mistaken, he's also not running a full schedule for the Cup Series.
Correct. He's not running for points.
So down the order he will go and probably not get back on the track.
I hope it's not my end, but apologies for technical difficulties if you honor them on our stream right there. I'm starting to think it was on my end. I've lost Finian for a good bit.
Oh, that was probably on your end. Oh, that's my end.
I hope the voice isn't going away now because I'll be really upset with the ISP. But
You sounded fine, so I guess it's on the download end. Your upload seems to be okay.
we'll see how things stick out here.
Granted, it has done fairly well for 175 laps. I haven't heard you like before when you were mentioning. Eric was mentioning that he had technical. He was having internet issues earlier, and it actually sounded like he was having issues. Like he was sounding crackly and whatnot. It's magically cleared up before the broadcast. Other drivers, meanwhile, it's almost like you passed off the issues to some of the other drivers that we saw blinking. I think Seth Knoll, Trado
lost connection. Bowie lost connection. Ryan Swan has blinked all race.
Yeah, Seth Knoll, I think, was also blinking at the start. Yeah.
Hey, do you notice this gap between Connor Horn and Ryan Hart's grown even more? Ryan Hart's has been consistently a 10th better than the front two. Now, just this past lap, he's starting to really even out. Finian, I'm pretty sure our speculation has come to fruition. Ryan saved too much on this run. He's stuck 2.3 seconds back in the lead. I'm
not too surprised that he saved too much because the main thing I've noticed with him is that he was really good on the restarts, had really solid pace, and would just kind of fall like a rock towards the tail end of the run. So I think he was scared he would rinse and repeat the same thing, and I think he went a little bit too much in the opposite direction. That being said, he's still running fairly well in third, but obviously, he doesn't want to finish in third by the end of the night, but unfortunately, it looks like it might be going that way. That being said, Jake Nichols, if this continues for the next 20-some-odd laps, could be the 7th different winner we've had this season so far.
Is this the Area Cup Series Season 4 or the NASCAR Cup Series Season 2022?
I mean, we're running the same cars, so could be.
That is true. A ton of different winners to the first part of the season right here. If it stays status quo here to the end, watch Michael Curhan putting the pressure on Connor Horn right here. We watch from the rear bumper of Connor Horn as that 24 closes the gap big time. Let's see what he does through 1 and 2. You don't want to be directly behind the car in front of you just to get the clean air to the nose and not be in the dirty air. Oh, big moment for Connor Horn. He's going to hang on, but that's going to give Michael Curran potentially. Oh, Michael had to check up too much. He doesn't get the round on Connor Horn. That was an opportunity missed there for the 24.
Man, that was almost looked like it was going to be a wreck. The closing rate of the 24 on the 42.
You're not going to get too many more of those opportunities, Finian. And
no.
20 to go. I mean, you can continue to pressure Connor Horn, try to force him into more mistakes, but the guy is, as you get closer and closer to the front of the field, well, mistakes become less and less likely. I don't necessarily like the line Connor Horn is running through, too. I'd rather run a little higher, put that dirty air on the nose of the 24, but perhaps the race car and the tires on that race car are not permitting.
Yeah, I think
Connor Horn to really place his car where he needs to defend effectively right here. He's just hanging on by a thread.
I think that's definitely the thing he's dealing with, is just the car handling. He's going away, can't run the line he wants, and has to compromise. And it's costing him a lot of speed.
Climbed the hill that time perfectly. And Michael Curhan cut underneath and saw it coming. This is a cat and mouse game of I take your line away and no, I'll just go to the other line. This is what we love about racing.
Yeah, I was going to say Connor Horn's doing a great job. I think he's just trying to block and prevent any attempts of Curran getting a run. And Cameron Hearn's also in the mix as well, so he's really got to do some good defending because he's running out of time. Well, really, these two are running out of time to make a move on him. Connor Horn's just trying to buy time here with 19 laps to go.
Michael got tight right there behind Horn. He drove right up to the back bumper. He's going to take the left-hand turn down to the bottom of turn 3. 24 is going to go for a big move here. Can he get it done on the 42?
Doesn't look quite like it. Meanwhile, in behind him, how about this 2x2? One of those cars a lap down, though, working his way through the order. That is Nick's.
Oh, Curran's still side by side. He held on to Connor Horn. He side drafted him back down the front stretch.
And can't quite get done. Connor's going to zip around the outside with that run, so he will hold on to 4th place. Curran in 5th, Cameron Hearn in 6th, but very close nose to tail.
That was, we'd say, Cogswell getting mixed up with some lappers there. Nick Miller. Or not Nick Miller, excuse me, Nick Silver.
We're just making up drivers at this point. Whoa.
You know, the names they run together when you got to watch for all these throwback schemes.
Oh,
Michael Curran,
man, he's making big dives into turn 1.
I don't like the transition. Like I said earlier, with the Cup car and the way the rub blocks are, I just feel like it upsets the car too much. He's able to make it work, but not exactly the fast way through 1 and 2. He lost time to Connor Horn. He's got to try to gain that back, perhaps getting a little bit cleaner air a little bit further back. Ricky Springer hanging on.
Just got past Nick Silver for 7th place, so move one more spot up for the 51. Connor Kresik sitting in 9th, moving in 10th. A little bit further back, there's Cosmo Nishio. James Kiley's up, still actually in 12th. They moved up a spot. He's still in 12th. Beckner's also still in 14th. Has not really made a whole lot of forward progress. And we got 2 Draft Miller cars next to each other. Hold on and pray, because they've been bad juju tonight.
I'll tell you who's really coming right now. Tyler Nichols is driven up to be the second car 1 lap down. He's chasing Garrett Grant right now to be in position for the lucky dog. He's got a little bit to go yet. He's about, I'd say, a little less than half a straightaway behind the 5. That battle is not going away either. There we see Garrett Grant. You'll see Tyler Nichols exit turn 2. Actually, it's more like 2/3 of a straightaway between them.
Take a look at James Kelly over the back. He's catching up to Kazuhiro Nishibu. I think might make a pass here in a little bit. Just going to turn to the left a little bit earlier than the 84 gets a run, and Yonishibu is not even going to bother.
Cosman's racing smart right there. He knows he's beat. James has been coming on not fresher tires, but better tires. James was running in the top 3 prior to his pit lane penalty. And just a tough reminder, tough pill to swallow for the 7, Finian. EOL on what is potentially the final yellow of the race.
Yep.
And he's gone from 16th at the tail end of the longest line only to 11th. He is 11.6 seconds behind the lead.
Well, whoa, a little bit loose there for the 24th Kern. Well, I mean, yeah, that's the, effectively that was the money stop, right? He got everything on the line. Unfortunately, Scully messed up when it counted the most, and he's going to pay the price.
And Cameron is playing good teammate for Michael Curran. These 2 guys drive for Physicus Motorsports, and they are trying to work together to get by the... No, Michael's got it all wrong. He's got it all wrong. Cameron into him.
Oh, Cameron Hearn's going to wipe hard off the wall. Oh, no, he's going to hit hard to the inside, and I don't think, if history is to be accurate, this should not be a caution, but man, that was a hard hit. And another competitive car taken out of the race.
Ricky Springer is on the radio upset that that's not a yellow. He wanted that one bad. Michael Curran, you're going to see him right here. He's going to get it all wrong trying to go up the hill. He got too high, got the piece of the wall, got it in it. Cameron, no time to react. Catches him with the left or with the right front, and that's on from there for the 4.
Right on board. See his point of view.
Brace yourselves, folks.
Yeah, that was a hard impact, and then this was another. Oof.
And a good night gone bad for Cameron Hearn.
You can see him in the pit, so he's out of it. Michael Curran still at least running in 5th. That car significantly less damage. Ooh, hits the wall again, though. Keeps doing that. Ricky Springer might have a chance of catching him down. 10 laps to go for those drivers. Connor Horn, big sigh of relief for him because a lot of his competition just wiped themselves out, so he doesn't have to worry about 2 guys in behind. He can kind of relax a little bit.
You can tell how much he was working, though, because he went from being just partially behind Ryan Hartz to now Connor is, what is that?
4? A little over 4 seconds behind?
5 seconds almost adrift of Ryan Hartz.
Yep.
It's crazy how much defensive driving the 42 had to do right there, but it paid off. I mean, he was able to stay ahead of the incident and continue to hold 4th place. Ryan Hartz. Has closed the gap.
Oh, he's not going to close it. He almost spins out. Trying to get past Jordan
Martin. To the leaders. He's now inside of 2 seconds back, but he's not getting enough on Nichols, but he has, as you see, closed the gap to Brandon 6. And this is going to be a proper battle with 8 to go.
He might have a good shot at 2nd. I don't think 1st so much, but we'll see. We'll see. You never know. A lot can happen in 8 laps. Could have another caution. That's the last thing Jake Nichols wants to see.
He's got to channel his inner Earnhardt right here and the intimidate button.
So basically send Brandon 6 into the next town over.
I wouldn't even go that far. I was saying, I'm more so thinking if Ryan Hartz is running a Logitech G920 and it's the Xbox version, he's got a B button he can use to intimidate. I mean,
I forgot about that being in the game. I remember that. That's a real throwback.
The old features of the 05, 06,
Oh,
07
man. I
games,
love-
and even maybe one of the early Thunder games that had.
It was. I remembered it from.
Intimidator.
I think NASCAR Thunder 2004. I love NASCAR 06 Total Team Control. That was a fantastic game.
I think you're a year too late right there, my friend. Chase for the Cup in 05 was a pretty solid one.
I didn't play that one.
opinion.
I didn't play that one, so I have no opinion on it. I heard that was really good.
You know, let's see, I would have been 8 years old, Finian, at the time. I was born in 97, so my parents were working, and you get watched by the grandparents, and they got an old original Xbox in the house. Load up NASCAR 2005, Chase for the Cup, sit down, and just go for it. Meanwhile, going for it, Ryan Hart is trying everything in his knowledge to get after Brandon 6 right here, and it is just not paying off for the 3. He is actually losing time again.
Yeah, losing time. He scraped the wall. You saw there riding off the back of Brandon 6, scraped the wall coming off of turn 1. And turns 1 and 2, so he lost a little bit of time there, and he's struggling a little bit more. I think now getting closer, obviously entering that wake of the 66 on these tires. These guys have been running green on these tires for 50 some odd laps, so they're not in the best of shape.
Oh, look now, James Scioli up to P7.
Oh
He's
wow!
worked himself past some moments with. So we saw him get by Cosmin Yoneshiba. He's worked by Douglas Newbig and Connor O'Kresick and Nick Silver now. Some of these guys have tripped over each other, racing for the latter half of the top 10. Connor O'Kresick still putting the pressure on Nick Silver right here.
Close battle
what the
between
14
these two.
has left.
Coming down to the nitty-gritty here, 3 laps to go.
I was going to say right behind him, Douglas Newbigin was holding on to a spot, but that's actually Ben Pierce behind him a lap, one or more laps down from 65.
Oh, and O'Kresick's in the wall in turns 1 and 2. Drops a little bit further back.
Every inch of racetrack that you can find right here, Finian, is what you need. Ryan Hart's going to use every inch of racetrack. That last lap, he gained a 10th on Brandon 6. He's closed the gap again after the wall contact. Let's see what he can do through these final 2 laps.
Definitely see what he can do for this final lap and a half now. Quickly coming to an end here. Ryan Hart's trying to close the gap on Brandon 6. He's caught up. Can he do anything? Will he do anything? We'll find out here out of turn 4. Jake Nichols is going to see the white flag this time by in behind Brandon 6 versus Ryan Hart. Hart's looking to the inside, not close enough. They work their way through 1 and 2.
You know, the big story is going to be that Nichols finally gets his win this season now that he's got the white, no yellows to come out. But, man, this battle right here, Ryan's got to figure out a way to send it. He's going to try the top. Not many people have ventured to the top tonight. See if he can get the run on corner exit.
But at the final corner, Jake Nichols, lap 200. He'll come across the line and take home the win, the first win of the season for the 73. And in behind, Brandon 6 will hold off all late charging Ryan Hart's to hold off for second place.
Coming to the line, Connor O'Kresick's going to nip Nick Silver. Nick Silver got loose. You see him coming in from the right side of the picture. Connor O'Kresick steals a position there, 6th place at the line.
And Jake Nichols,
5th place.
Jake Nichols taking home the win. How about this? I guess a long time coming for the 73.
Oh, I'm all out of sorts. Connor O'Kresick, 8th. My timing and scoring all messed up, Finian. I need that SimTV ATVO timing and scoring.
And you can see Jake Nichols on the top of the timing and scoring as he will take home his first win of the season. And I'm sure he's very happy to finally get this over with.
You know who else is happy, Finian? People that buy Jake Nichols merch on shop.areaiRacing.com. Race fans, be sure to check out shop.areaiRacing.com for merchandise to represent your favorite driver and team here in all of Area Series, not just the Area Cup Series tonight. Shop for our brand new selections of champion t-shirts, jackets, hats, and more. Easier to shop, quicker to ship, better to wear. That's shop.areaiRacing, AREA, iRacing.com.
And as the 73 does the Polish victory lap, we'll go over your finishing results here. Jake Nichols taking home the win. Brandon 6 in second. Reinhardt's in third. Solid top three there. Connor Horn again sneaking his way up from 30th position up 26 spots to fourth place. Michael Curran, Ricky Springer, James Scioli, a solid recovery there at the end, getting back to 7th. I'm sure he's still going to be disappointed with that speeding penalty because he effectively lost a chance of winning this race with a decent car. Connor Okrezik, Nick Silver just beating the 14, beating the 46 to the line, and Douglas Stubing rounding out your top 10.
I'd love to see NASCAR, what is the Twitter account? I think it's like NASCAR Data Analytics or something, to see what the medium speeds of the fourth quarter of the race unimpeded by lap traffic, where they would have finished up, where James Scioli would have finished if they all stayed in their positions. But look at your 11th through 20th place finishers right here. Travis Beckner, a decent night to rebound after spinning later in the going. Cosmin Yonishiwu hanging on for 12th place. We've got Jordan Martin, who seemingly had bad luck all night, somehow still finds his top 15. And then the battle for the lucky dog, these guys one or more laps down. Garrett Grant hanging on to that spot over Tyler Nichols, who gave it a proper drive back at him, as well as Delonte Ballard, who was involved in some, I think, our first or second incident of the race tonight.
You got Cedric Hunter and then Bryce Sinizek running at your top 20. Chris Rabel, Bell, Shackelford, and a lot of drivers have landed to some incidents or just caught a lap down, was able to and never able to recover. Frankie Barroso, Dominic DeLeo, Greg Mitchell, Brandon Bowie, Cameron Hearn. That was disappointing. Such a good car back in 29th after it was all said and done. Ben Pierce in 30th.
And unfortunately, all the drivers we lost tonight due to incidents and I think one or two connection issues as well. Brad Slaughter making his second start in the Area Cup Series after the Southern 500 crown jewel not to be tonight. Same with the 33 of David Weishart. Nate Trado, who was in despair. He thought he could get enough cautions. Unfortunately, it did not come out for him in that number 9 car. Saw some other guys that have trouble tonight. Ryan Swan, Culberson, Slate, Poole, Noel, Sergio, and ignore that 40th place finisher.
It looks like that 40th finisher had a very tough night indeed, finishing out your field there. As Dick Nichols is still celebrating now, he's doing some really good burnouts around 2 cars in the background of the finishing order here. So while he's still wrapping up the celebrations here, let's talk to Ryan Hartz, finishing number 3 in P3. Ryan, fortunately didn't get the win there, but we saw you were coming there hard at the end. Unfortunately, you couldn't get Brandon. Walk us through your race.
Yeah, it is what it is that I didn't get the win. I'm kind of used to that by now. Like I said last week, I'm mostly a 3rd to 4th place car this season. I don't know why, but that's usually where I run. But I'm glad that I salvaged this one.
Yeah, definitely solid finish regardless for you. We saw you were fighting with James Scioli earlier on. Were you concerned about him, and were you surprised that he ended up making that pit road speeding penalty later on?
Yeah, I didn't really think that pit road was hard to get in it. On the green flag pit stops, I'm surprised not a lot of people sped. I just took it as easy as I could in the pit road, but when I saw James speed, I was like, okay, that's another spot. So I was really, really bad on the long runs in the beginning, like the first 2 runs. And I don't know, I just figured something out in the last run, and luckily it got me a P3. Just, I don't know, way too loose. It's like ice skates. My arm hurts, my hand hurts, my knee hurts. This track is so so challenging, and it's insane how all of us just don't self-spin, because this track takes a lot of skill, and that setup takes a lot of skill. So kudos to Jake. No one was probably going to contend with him tonight, so I tried my best, but we'll take a P3 and move on with it.
Well, definitely still a solid finish for you, Ryan. Congrats on your 3rd place finish, and definitely showed that you had quite a bit of car control.
Thanks, guys. I'll see you next week.
All right, with that, moving on now to Brandon 6 in 2nd place. Brandon, solid finish for you in the number 66 machine. We saw you go, you actually didn't even drop lower than 14th all night, remained in the top 15 all night. Solid run for you. Dropped out of the battle for the front for a little bit and then came back charging hard there and couldn't quite get to the 73. You did get awfully close, though.
Yeah, I was, once we had that final restart there, I was trying to keep pace with him, and I was doing pretty well there for a while. I was trying to protect the rear tires, but I apparently protected them so well that I actually somehow burnt down the right front, and I got really tight, especially once I was in his dirty air. And it just kept getting worse and worse and worse, which allowed Ryan to catch me. And then, unfortunately, I was doing everything I could just to hang on to second place there. But definitely a good night overall, and I'll definitely take a P2 for sure.
Yeah, and I actually wanted to ask you too, with that final caution coming out, were you expecting there to be a string of cautions to end of the race, or were you expecting a green flag run like what we had?
Yeah, I was definitely expecting a string of cautions probably to the end, honestly, which is why I kind of went kind of hard with Jake a little bit, and we kind of pulled away. But at the same time, you're constantly trying to protect the tires while trying to maintain position. So I was kind of expecting it, and it kept going and going and going. And every now and then I'd hear from my teammates like some stuff happening, like cautions might come out, but they just never did.
Well, regardless, still a solid finish for you, even though it wasn't the win. But looking at the points that were just updated, you've gone up 5 spots to 11th place. So that puts you in the points and in the playoff picture at the moment. So solid finish.
Good stuff.
All right, and with that, we'll talk to our race winner, Jake Nichols. And I guess it's kind of surprising that this is the first time we're talking to you as the race winner, Jake, but regardless of that, you've had so many solid finishes throughout the rest of the season. Eric pointed out that your average finish is third. It's actually not even 3 now. It's 2.71, which is absolutely incredible. You've not finished lower than 4th. So I guess in the grand scheme of things, you didn't really need the win, or you might feel like you might have not needed the win to qualify for the playoffs. But I'm sure you're glad you got this.
Yeah, for sure. I love this track, man. This is my perfect situation. Long green flag runs, everyone's just racing their own race. So you don't have too many wrecks. We started out with a few, but once we got going, fairly clean. A lot of guys letting each other go, and man, I don't know. I felt like I was really confident to make the playoffs, even not having a win yet going into tonight. I just needed one repeat winner of myself to win because we're doing so good at points racing right now, and I've second, third, fourth times 2. I mean, that's how my season's been, which is awesome. I mean, going into this race last season, I had 3 wins, and I only had 2 more points than what I had going into tonight with no wins, which is insane. That's like something you really dream of having for a season, pretty much. But we're obviously really happy to win, especially in this Kenny Irwin car. I've always loved this paint scheme. Thought he was an extremely talented driver. Just gone too soon, but I wanted to bring this car out for the Coke Series 2 years ago, but we unfortunately couldn't. We brought something else out, and I'm glad to bring it here, and not only that, but bring it to Victory Lane with us, and especially for the first time this season. Maybe there's something about it. If I don't win next week, then maybe I'll bring it back out. But either way, great race with these guys. I definitely felt some pressure, especially such a long race. You got to be on top of it, and I definitely was. It just perfect race for me. It just fits my style to a T, this track right now. I drove the same way from lap 1 to lap 200, and it worked out with a win, and proud of my Solar Flare Racing teammates. We got 2 in the top 20 there with 17th and 18th with Tyler and Devontae. It's good to see that. Solid team points night. Could have been better, but could have been worse also. You take that any day of the week. So unfortunate for Nate, he lagged out before the race even started, so he never even really got to do anything. And Dwayne had problems too. But either way, great night for Solar Flare Racing. In my car, I don't even remember. Solar South, Solar South. I forget. I always forget which way I was gonna do. Solar or Solar South, but either way, great to win in this car and in this league with some great drivers here.
Well, Jake, solid finish for you. Obviously, finally getting that win, the monkey off your back for that win. But again, still doing fantastic in the standings. I was actually just looking at your finishes from last season, and you're even with the win aside, you're statistically doing better this season than you were last season. So you're off to a fantastic start regardless. Best of luck to you for the rest of the season.
Thank you. See you next week.
All right, with that, it's going to wrap up interviews here from Darlington. Well, Eric, never actually saw Kyle. Don't know what happened to him. So it was just you and me up in the booth for 200 laps. What are your final thoughts in Darlington?
Kyle just needed to take a precious load off that voice that he has so smooth. voice of the area, or SimTV, one of the voices of SimTV. But hey, I will never be opposed to hanging out with Finney and Dakuna in the booth for an Area Cup Series race. That was quite fun tonight, Finney, and I appreciate you letting me come out and hang out with you and get off pit road for once and not go running up and down it. Great race. This is the type of race, and I love to see. I'm like Jake Nichols. I like the long run, worn out tires. Darlington's such a fun track to drive because it's different on both ends of the speedway. But yeah, I mean, we knew the win was coming. I'd like to also point out my pick to win tonight did win the race. We knew the wins were coming for him, so we're gonna see what these guys can do now. Over halfway through the regular season, we just have 6 races remaining in the regular season, actually, Finney, and we go to Pocono June 12th. We get a week off for Memorial Day weekend, and don't forget, after Memorial Day weekend, we got that All-Star race mixed in here.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's definitely going to be a race to look forward to. But yeah, drivers are mentioning tonight that Darlington is a tough track to drive. So is the Tricky Triangle. Pocono coming up in just a few weeks' time. That is June 12th. After a little bit of a break in points racing here, but still got some races left this week. We head to Darlington tomorrow night and Darlington on Thursday night for the area series, but for tonight we'll be calling it a night. My name is Finney Kuna here with Eric Weiland. We'll be signing out here from SimTV. Thank you for watching.